The Great Escape, How to Fund Your Dreams with Corporate America's Money. Welcome to the Black CEO Podcast, where we're about to embark on a journey that could revolutionize the way you think about your career, your finances, and your future. Today, we're diving deep into a strategy so audacious, so brilliantly simple, that it might just make you question everything you thought you knew about success in the corporate world. But before we dive in, I want to introduce you to the mastermind behind this game-changing approach. We had the incredible privilege of interviewing Chiquita Hall-Jackson, a force of nature in the legal world and a beacon of hope for countless professionals seeking to break free from the golden handcuffs of corporate America. Chiquita isn't just a licensed attorney and adjunct law professor. She's a visionary who's rewriting the rules of career advancement and entrepreneurial success. Chiquita Hall-Jackson is the founder of Hall-Jackson and Associates, PLLC, but that title barely scratches the surface of her impact. She's a relentless advocate for those who've been silenced, a brilliant strategist who's helped countless individuals reclaim their power in the workplace, and a thought leader who's challenging the very foundations of how we think about career transitions. Her insights aren't just valuable, they're potentially life-changing. Now, picture this. You're sitting in your cubicle, staring at the clock, counting down the minutes until you can escape. You got dreams, big, audacious dreams, but they seem impossibly out of reach. You're trapped in the golden cage of a steady paycheck, benefits, and the illusion of security. Sound familiar? What if I told you that the key to your freedom, the seed money for your entrepreneurial dreams, is right there in front of you? What if the very company that's holding you back could be the springboard to your future success? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, buckle up, because we're about to challenge everything you think you know about career transitions and financial empowerment. Today, we're going to explore a strategy so brilliantly subversive, so deliciously clever, that it might just make you laugh out loud. We're talking about turning your severance package, yes, that thing you get when you're laid off, into the launch pad for your dreams. But here's the kicker. We're not talking about waiting around to be shown the door. Oh, no. We're talking about engineering your own exit on your own terms with a fat check in hand to fund your next adventure. Now, I can almost hear the objections bubbling up. But I'm not being laid off. Isn't that unethical? What about burning bridges? Hold those thoughts, because by the end of this talk, you'll be looking at your job and your future in a whole new light. Let's start with a hard truth. Corporate America isn't designed for your long-term success. It's a system built to extract maximum value from you while giving just enough in return to keep you coming back for more. It's the ultimate long con. And for too long, we've been willing participants. But here's the thing. You're not here to be a cog in someone else's machine. You're here because you've got fire in your belly, because you know you're capable of so much more. And Chiquita Hall-Jackson has shown us a brilliant way to use the system to our advantage. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, I'm just waiting for the right moment to start my own thing? Or, I'd love to quit, but I can't afford to right now? These are the voices of dreams deferred, of potential untapped. But what if you could flip the script? Chiquita's strategy is brilliantly simple, yet profoundly impactful. Don't just quit it. Negotiate your exit. Use your leverage. Turn your departure into a launch pad for your next venture. It's not about burning bridges. It's about building a golden bridge to your future. Now, let's break this down, because the devil and the opportunity is in the details. First, you need to understand your value, not just your salary, but the full scope of your contributions to the company. What projects have you spearheaded? What relationships have you nurtured? What innovations have you brought to the table? This isn't about ego. It's about having a clear factual basis for your negotiations. It's about recognizing that you're not just an employee, you're an asset. And assets have value beyond a simple salary. Next, you need to understand your rights. This is where Chiquita's legal expertise comes into play. Many employees don't realize the full extent of what they're entitled to in a severance package. It's not just about a few weeks' pay. We're talking about extended health benefits, outplacement services, stock options, and more. Knowledge is power here. The more you know about standard practices in your industry, the stronger your position. But here's where it gets really interesting. Chiquita advises looking beyond the standard severance package. Think creatively. Could you negotiate for a consulting contract as part of your exit? This could provide a steady income stream as you build your business. Could you secure rights to intellectual property you've developed, This could be the foundation of your new venture. Could you negotiate for introductions to key clients or partners? These relationships could be invaluable as you strike out on your own. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds great for executives or high level managers, but what about those of us earlier in our careers? Here's the beautiful thing, this strategy scales. No matter where you are in your career journey, you have value, you have skills, you have potential. The key is to recognize that value and learn to articulate it effectively. For those earlier in their careers, focus on building a strong foundation. Seek out mentors, take on challenging assignments, build a diverse skill set, document your achievements meticulously. Even if you're not ready to negotiate a big exit package now, you're laying the groundwork for future negotiations. Let's talk about timing because this is crucial. The best time to negotiate your exit is when you're at the top of your game. When you've just closed a big deal, launched a successful project, or received glowing feedback, this is when your value is most apparent and when you have the most leverage. But what if you're not in that position right now? What if you're feeling stuck, undervalued, or even on the verge of being pushed out? Don't panic. This is where strategic thinking comes into play. Start by rebuilding your value within the company. Take on high visibility projects. Solve problems no one else can. Make yourself indispensable. It might feel counterintuitive when you're planning to leave, but it's this very indispensability that will give you leverage in negotiations. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, fear. It's natural to feel apprehensive about leaving the security of a steady paycheck. The entrepreneurial path is uncertain, often lonely, and fraught with challenges. But here's what Chiquita wants you to understand, that steady paycheck is an illusion of security. In today's rapidly changing business landscape, no job is truly secure. By taking control of your exit, you're not increasing your risk, you're mitigating it. You're creating options for yourself. Think about it this way. Every day you spend working for someone else's dream is a day you're not fully investing in your own. Every project you complete, every problem you solve, every relationship you build, all of these could be assets for your own venture. By negotiating a strong exit package, you're essentially getting paid to launch your own business. You're turning your corporate experience into startup capital. But let's be clear, this isn't about making a rash decision. It's about strategic planning. Chiquita emphasizes the importance of having a clear vision for your next steps. What's your business plan? Who's your target market? What problem are you solving? The more clarity you have on these questions, the more effectively you can negotiate your exit to support your goals. This brings us to another crucial point, the power of networks. As you're planning your exit, start activating your professional network. Not in a way that jeopardizes your current position, but in a way that opens doors for your future. Attend industry events, engage in online communities, start positioning yourself as a thought leader in your field. These connections will be invaluable as you transition into entrepreneurship. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, this all sounds great, but I'm not ready to be an entrepreneur. I love what I do. I just want to do it on my own terms. Good news. This strategy isn't just for aspiring business owners. It's for anyone who wants more control over their career. Maybe you want to transition into a different field. Maybe you want to go freelance. Maybe you just want the freedom to take a sabbatical and figure out your next move. A well negotiated exit gives you the freedom to explore all these options. Let's talk about mindset for a moment. One of the most powerful insights from Chiquita's approach is the shift from an employee mindset to an owner mindset. Even if you're not planning to leave your job immediately, start thinking like an owner today. How can you add more value? How can you solve bigger problems? How can you create systems and processes that outlast your tenure? This mindset shift not only increases your value to your current employer, but also prepares you for future entrepreneurial success. Now, let's address another common concern. What if I negotiate for an exit and my employer says no? First, remember that opening this conversation doesn't obligate you to leave. If the negotiation doesn't go as planned, you can always choose to stay. But more importantly, the very act of having this conversation changes the dynamic. It signals to your employer that you're a professional who understands their worth. It opens the door for discussions about your role, your compensation, and your future within the company. In many cases, this can lead to positive changes, even if you decide to stay. As we dive deeper into this strategy, let's look at some real world examples of how this is played out. Chiquita shared the story of Sarah, a mid-level manager at a tech company. Sarah had been dreaming of starting her own consulting firm, but felt trapped by her six-figure salary and the golden handcuffs of stock options. Using Chiquita's strategy, Sarah spent 6 months positioning herself as indispensable, taking on high visibility projects and mentoring junior staff. When she finally approached her boss about transitioning out, she was able to negotiate a package that included 6 months of salary, accelerated vesting of her stock options, and a part time consulting contract for the first year of her new venture. This gave her the runway she needed to launch her business without the stress of immediate financial pressure. Or consider the case of Marcus, a young professional just 3 years into his career at a marketing agency. Marcus didn't have the leverage of a long tenure or a high level position, but he did have specialized skills in emerging social media platforms that were valuable to the company. By documenting his contributions meticulously and presenting a clear case for his value, Marcus was able to negotiate a modest but significant exit package that included 3 months of salary and, crucially, an agreement that he could take his client contacts with him. These stories illustrate a key point. This strategy isn't one size fits all. It's about understanding your unique value proposition and leveraging it effectively. Whether you're a seasoned executive or a young professional just starting out, you have more power than you realize. Now, let's talk about the psychological aspect of this approach because it's not just about the money, it's about reclaiming your sense of agency. In the traditional employment model, there's often a subtle but pervasive sense that the company holds all the cards. You're made to feel grateful for your job, as if your paycheck is a gift rather than a fair exchange for your skills and effort. This mindset can be insidious, seeping into your self perception and limiting your vision of what's possible. By taking control of your exit, you're not just negotiating a financial package, you're making a powerful statement about your worth and your right to determine your own path. Chiquita emphasizes that this psychological shift is often the most valuable part of the process. It's about recognizing that you're not just an employee, you're a business of one. You're the CEO of your own career, and it's time to start acting like it. This mindset shift has ripple effects that extend far beyond your current job. When you start thinking like an owner, you approach every aspect of your work differently. You become more proactive, more innovative, more willing to take calculated risks. These are precisely the qualities that will serve you well in your entrepreneurial ventures or whatever path you choose to pursue. But let's be real for a moment. This process isn't easy. It requires courage, strategic thinking, and a willingness to step out of your comfort zone. You might face resistance, both from your employer and from your own self doubt. This is where preparation becomes crucial. Chiquita advises her clients to approach this process with the same rigor they would apply to any major business negotiation. Do your research, understand industry standards for severance packages, know your company's policies inside and out, prepare for objections, and have counter arguments ready. But beyond the tactical preparation, there's also emotional preparation. You need to be ready for the possibility of rejection, for the discomfort of difficult conversations, for the uncertainty of stepping into the unknown. This is where having a support system becomes crucial. Surround yourself with people who believe in your vision, who can offer advice and encouragement when the going gets tough. As we near the end of our time together, I want to emphasize a point that Chiquita Hall Jackson drives home. This strategy isn't just about money. Yes, a well negotiated severance package can provide crucial financial runway for your next venture, but it's about so much more than that. It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your creative power. It's about aligning your work with your values and your passions. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you're building something that's truly yours. Imagine the pride of solving problems that matter to you, of creating value on your own terms. Imagine the freedom to structure your day around your most productive hours, to take on projects that truly excite you, to say no to work that doesn't align with your values. This is the real promise of entrepreneurship, and it's within your reach. But here's the catch: it won't happen by itself. The corporate world isn't designed to encourage this kind of thinking. It's up to you to take the initiative, to start the conversation, to advocate for yourself. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry about rocking the boat or seeming ungrateful. Push past those fears. Remember, you're not asking for a handout. You're proposing a mutually beneficial transition. You're offering your employer the opportunity to turn a potential loss into a future partnership. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge. Tonight, when you get home, take out a piece of paper. Write down your dream, not the watered down version you tell your colleagues, but your real, big, scary dream. The one that makes your heart race a little faster. Now, underneath that, write down 3 things you could do this week to start moving towards that dream. Maybe it's updating your resume. Maybe it's reaching out to a mentor. Maybe it's finally registering that business name you've been thinking about. Whatever it is, commit to taking those steps. Because here's the truth. The only difference between a dream and a goal is a plan. And thanks to the wisdom shared by Chiquita Hall Jackson, you now have the beginnings of a plan. You have a roadmap for turning your current job into the launch pad for your future success. Remember, every great entrepreneurial journey starts with a single step. Your step might be different from someone else's. It might be bigger or smaller. It might feel more or less scary. But the important thing is that you take it. Because on the other side of that step is a world of possibility, a world where you're in control of your time, your talents, and your financial future. So, as we conclude this transformative journey together, I want you to hold on to this thought. You are more powerful than you know. You have more leverage than you realize. And your dreams are more achievable than you've been led to believe. It's time to stop leaving money on the table. It's time to stop deferring your dreams. It's time to take control of your exit, fund your future, and step boldly into the entrepreneurial journey that awaits you. The corporate world has had its thumb on the scale for far too long. It's time to tip that scale in your favor. It's time to recognize that your skills, your experience, your creativity, these are not just assets for your employer. They are the building blocks of your future empire. So, what's it going to be? Will you continue to play by the old rules, always one restructuring away from unemployment? Or will you seize control of your destiny, leveraging your current position to catapult you into a future of your own design? The choice is yours. But remember this, every day you delay is a day you're leaving money on the table. Money that could be funding your dreams, securing your future, building your legacy. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let complacency lull you into a false sense of security. The time for action is now. Your future self is counting on you to make the bold move, to take the calculated risk, to bet on yourself. So go forth. Negotiate like your future depends on it, because it does. Build your exit strategy with the same passion and precision you've given to your corporate projects. And when you walk out those doors for the last time, do it with your head held high, your pockets full, and your heart racing with the excitement of the journey ahead. The world is waiting for your unique contribution. It's time to give yourself permission to make it. It's time to fund your dreams with corporate America's money. It's time for your great escape. Thank you.